Distracto.
Well, hello, Caleb.
Hello.
It's Wednesday. You know what that means.
Booty, 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 rocking everywhere.
That, and also welcome to Distracto.
Hey!
Yay! It's your dose of the distraction from the Daily Dumpster Fire, or your dose of distraction from the Daily Dumpster Fire. Helps if I can talk correctly.
Maybe your daily dumpster of Distracto donuts.
Yep, there's a bunch of D's in there, so it's hard to parse sometimes. I'm Brian.
I'm Caleb.
We hope your week's been going well. It's been good. My wife is finally back from her work trip, so the chi of the house has returned to its normal flow state, which I'm very excited about.
Nice. That's always good.
She got back and she immediately went to bed because she was working like 16-hour days. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
How about you?
I've had a good week. I've been putting off this new painting forever, and I finally it had literally been drawn and sitting on my painting board for a week and a half, 2 weeks, just taunting me. Everything was out. Like I had the paints out. I had my little vessel for water, the rags and sponges and paper towels I used to kind of control water flow and all that. Everything was sitting out. Literally, all I had to do was step up to it and start working, and I just kept avoiding it. And so I finally
now this was the mural you're doing for the Flat Earth Society, correct?
yeah. In my studio, it's a mural for them, but they can only
call back
see
to episode 1, baby.
But yeah, no. So this was just a new painting I had been wanting to do. I have a list of a few paintings that I want to have done in time for the fabulous, which I constantly am referencing on this podcast, DragonCon.
Yes. But you have another convention coming up. You got to plug that, man.
I do. I will be, by the time this episode airs, it's gone. But I do have the Indianapolis Comic-Con this weekend, so which I am excited about. So I'll be heading off there.
Indianapolis. They call it the Beirut of the Midwest. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah. The Beirut. I can only imagine what that would make Indianapolis look like. I mean, it looks like any other, kind of major metropolis, just Indiana sized, so smaller.
Again, we were talking earlier about it. The only, and I no shade to Indianapolis and the lovely people that reside there. The only thing I know about the state is the Colts play there, and there is a race that is the 500 there. That is it. That is the only thing I know about Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's no shade to Indianapolis, but I also don't know much about the city.
Well, for those of you that missed the con, because this will come out after Caleb is there, he will be on his.
Thanks for showing up, everybody.
We might add something to the earlier episodes so people can see him there, and like a little addendum, say, "Hey, come see your boy at the con." Yeah, but I hope you crush it, man. I hope it'll be great. It'll be fun.
Well, thanks.
Well, that was interesting. All right. I don't have anything to plug other than it's finally stopped raining in Atlanta for 5 seconds, so I'm very excited about that.
Nice. Has it been raining?
Oh my God. It's been like, I saw people building arcs. It's been crazy. It's all week. It's been just like a deluge of rain. So
it's been dry and warm here, like low 80s. But no rain. So it's been very lovely out here.
For those of you that reside in Georgia in the greater Atlanta metro, you know that Atlanta is a city of extremes. Not necessarily like how other cities are, where it gets very cold in the winter, it gets very hot in the summer. This could all change in the span of a day. And Caleb, you spent time here. It's like 30 degrees in the morning and then 90 degrees in the afternoon sometimes, and it's wild.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was a couple of years ago when I was staying with you for DragonCon. It was like I packed mostly shorts and I had like an obligatory pair of jeans or something just in case. Because, sometimes those convention centers and those buildings get super cold and, so it might be 100 degrees outside, but it's also 14 degrees inside.
You got like meat hanging from the rafters, just chilling next to
you.
You
sure do. There is literally hams curing from the ceiling behind me.
There's a cryogenics lab next door. You're like, well, all right, well, that's cool.
Poor Walt's head is one of the guests at the con that weekend.
Right,
but
Disney on Ice, baby.
But yeah, it was like it was wild to kind of walk, out of the train station, the Amarta there, and onto the Peachtree Center station, and it was like, low 60s, and I was like, what the hell is happening? It's August, September in
I know.
Atlanta.
It was lovely. That happens once every 10 years in Atlanta, where you have a really lovely Labor Day weekend where it's not like, oh, I'm going to die. But it's like, oh, this is actually very pleasant. This is
Right.
nice.
Yeah, man. So I have no idea. I'm expecting nothing but pure hellfire this year. So
Or that it could be hailing pianos. You don't know. The Atlanta likes to throw change ups a little bit. So,
I love it.
oh man. So, speaking of that, I gotta talk about my latest distraction for this past week. And I know the time will have passed, but I'm still buzzing from this, and I know you will appreciate this. And I think I already talked to you off mic about this. I had the opportunity to see Electric Callboy in concert, and for those of you who don't know who Electric Callboy is, they are from Germany, and they combine the music stylings of rave and electronic with metalcore and punk and rock. And their stage show is worth every penny that I paid for it. It was fantastic.
The photos you
Oh
sent
my
were
God. Oh
were
my God.
pretty amazing, and you sent a couple short video clips which
It's great.
just captured some of that energy, and it looked so much fun.
It was so great. And I went with a buddy of mine who actually introduced me to the band. Not personally, but introduced me to their music. And everyone was dancing, and the vibe inside. You know, when you go to a show or a movie, sometimes the crowd really isn't into it. But
Mhm.
like it kind of reminded me of when the Avengers movies were still new, and like the last one came out, and everybody in the theater who saw it opening night was like, "Oh my God!" It was like that.
Right.
Everyone was just on the same wavelength. There were people in costumes, including myself, because the band, if you're not familiar, check out their YouTube videos. They don't take themselves seriously. They dress up. Every video is a different theme. They're very self referential and very funny. It's even if you don't like metalcore style music, you can at least find the entertainment value in what they have to offer. They are
Oh yeah.
tremendous live. Um, and I don't know, it was like they played for an hour and a half. They played everything that you would ever heard from them that would make them popular. And I think this is their second North American tour.
That's
They're
awesome.
promoting a new album, drops out August the 6th, I think. It's called Tanzneed, Tanzneid. I might be spelling that wrong. I think it means like dance rave in German or something. I don't know, which, whatever. Point is, amazing. And that was, still buzzing from that. So that was, that was um, my big distraction from this past week. So
That's a
yeah,
pretty big distraction.
it was good. It was real good. How about you?
I think my biggest distraction this week has been, so I think I had mentioned that my family and I had just recently moved.
Only every episode, Caleb. God, stop bragging about it.
God damn it, Caleb. Shut the fuck up about this move.
It would be weird if you also moved again. Like, oh, we're just moving every week, just to a different house.
Yeah, it's a new house, new episode. Wait till we start recording the video on these, and you're just gonna be like, where the hell is Caleb today? Hi, I'm in the back of a moving truck.
Sorry about the sound. It's pretty loud. We're going down the highway.
Yeah, yeah. So we just recently moved, and our cat is irritated with this new home and doesn't want to explore the home, and wants to stay in one bedroom, and like it's hiding in our spare bedroom, and it's like it wants the litter box in there as well, which I'm like, hell no, the litter box is not going in our spare bedroom along with all your cat stuff. You can figure out how to navigate this new house, cat. And so we're having a battle with
It's
them.
sort of like cats, though. They're sort of dicks that way.
They sure are, and I also don't want like an exposed litter box just sitting like out in the middle of a room somewhere. So we ended up spending like $200 on this cat box. That
Did you
like,
get the litter robot?
Yeah, it's like it
Oh, we have
automatically
one.
bags the shit and piss and the clumpy nonsense. Yeah.
My wife bought one. Oh man, it's pretty high tech. I had to maintain it when she was gone, and she had to send me explicit directions. I'm not the one that's like in charge of it. So like I'll feed the cats
Sure.
and everything and make sure they have water, but she does all the ins and outs of this crazy space age robot that they poop in. So I'm like, wait, what do I have to do? Like, I had to
Yeah.
like do a combination of buttons, like I'm disarming a bomb just to like reset the cycle of it. It's crazy.
Good Lord. That's amazing. I have it. Mine's still sitting in the box. It just arrived last night, so I haven't had time to set it up yet. But that's on the docket for
If
today.
it's the
But
same one we got, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
this thing looks like it's something out of like Disney's Carousel of Progress. Like in the future, people will shit in these boxes.
Does it look like a front loading washing machine? Because that's the one that I got. It's got like a light on it and everything.
Sort of. It's kind of rounded at the top, and there's like a portal hole that the cat will enter, it do its business in the privacy of the robot, and then it leaves, and apparently the machine will auto filter the poop and the clumpy sandy.
Then there's a tray at the bottom that you open it up and you can just take the bag out and put another bag in. It's pretty good.
So apparently then astronaut Mark Watney will use that to create potatoes on Mars later.
And if your cat's anything like ours, they have a curious nature. When we first got this thing, the cats were very fascinated because when there's a light that comes on and when it senses the cat going into it, and it'll send you alerts to your phone or whatever you have.
Jesus Christ, I do not need my cat's litter box sending me message alerts. Your cat has entered the shitter.
It's all how high-tech and granular you want to get with it. So our cats were fascinated by the fact that it would activate every time they would stick their head in. So for several weeks, my wife just kept getting alerts on her phone that they weren't necessarily using it. They were just turning it on and then like watching it spin around. So
this is some bullshit.
It was pretty entertaining. I wasn't getting alerts, so I thought it was very funny. She was very annoyed.
I loved it. I mean, my wife was talking to me about this, and she's like, so apparently the one Consumer Reports recommends is this certain model. I was like, oh, okay. How much is that? And she's like, $650.
Oh yeah, they're not cheap.
I'm not spending $650 on something my cat poops in. I don't care. I mean, unless it's making me a latte in the morning, I don't want.
Well, you have to get the latte add-on. That's a different one. I wouldn't trust it, but some people love it. They love that extra cat shit oomph in the morning. So,
God.
Well, you're really
yeah. Anyway, well, I'm sorry. I can keep going on this, but forget it.
Speaking of, this is actually going to be one of my rare apt segues. Speaking of Consumer Reports, Caleb, have you had any?
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
You couldn't have had a better setup for that if we tried.
I know. You didn't even know what I was going to talk about today.
I have no idea what you want to talk about.
Have you heard? I'm sure you've dealt with being a consumer of things, products or
I consume many things.
Products or items that have been not up to snuff and perhaps have been discontinued or banned. Or you get a report saying, hey, don't use this thing because the thing it's supposed to do does something else and we don't want anyone to die, so don't use it anymore. Usually with cars, it happens a lot.
That's fair. Yep. Oh, yeah. Recalls in cars I'm familiar with. Occasionally, like a crib or a stroller part for infants, that kind of thing. Yeah. But that's about it.
So I went down an alley. I don't even call it a rabbit hole because rabbit holes are comparatively safer to what I have to talk about. This is more of an alley somewhere in a very dangerous part of town. And I thought, okay, well, I've had some experience with this, but what about the people that aren't necessarily in charge of buying it? And I'm talking about kids. So my topic today is all about discontinued toys. And
I love this.
Yeah, we'll get into it. So I went down this. I got a lot. There's been a lot of lists, and apparently there's entire organizations set up to protect consumers, which makes sense. You're buying stuff for your kid, and kids are inherently innocent, aka also kind of dumb when they're little, and they do stuff. So
everything goes in their mouth. So how
everything
could this
goes
be bad?
in their mouth. So there's parental watch groups, and I'll link to all that stuff for the safety of these products. But I thought I called the most entertaining, aka horrific ones that we should definitely get into. So the CPSC is the name of the site. It's like the Child Protective Safety something. I'm sorry, I was wrong. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is
Yeah,
a
now you're
website
just
that's
making up
dedicated.
stuff. You're just making things up.
It's the CPSC. It's the Corporal Potato Silly Candy.
Wow.
Anyway,
Wow.
yeah. So anyway, I don't know if you've heard. I'm sure once we get going, it'll spark some memories of toys. But do you know any offhand that you can name or have heard of that have been discontinued? I'm sure there's at least one famous one, but I'm sure.
Man, I just remember, God, certain things being readily available, and then like you would have like shelves and shelves of these things at Toys R Us or whatever, right? And then you'd come back like allowance time. Yeah, we got our $5 a week or whatever as kids, and you'd have 15, $20 and it burning a hole in your pocket, and you're like, I need 7 new GI Joe guys or a new Transformer.
Oh man, those were the salad days, my friend. When GI Joes were $2.99, they had that end cap at Toys
you
R
could
Us.
sit
Come
there
on,
and
dude.
for hours just pour
yeah.
through it like, hell yeah, Shipwreck, he comes with the parrot.
He does. That's a bonus.
Right? And his very, very big anchor tattoo on his chest, which, was strangely appealing.
Well, he really wants to let you know he was in the Navy.
Right. In the Navy. But yeah, and then just boom, nothing. Just they're gone. Like they never
kind of like
existed.
in The Thief in the Night, they're sort of gone.
Like I
this
think
this sort of happened.
Mighty Max.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you remember Mighty Max?
I've heard of it, but I
Mighty
never
Max,
had a
Mighty
Max.
Max. I think
you have to re-jog my memory on that one because I don't remember.
Mighty
what it
Max was like Polly Pocket for boys. Super, like you'd get like a mount.
So like little magnetic play set thing.
Yeah, like, and I don't even know that they were magnetic. It was just tiny ass little toys. Like Mighty Max may have been like a 1/4 inch tall. I mean, they're that super tiny. And you'd buy like something that you could easily throw in your backpack. Like, this is a rock, but the rock opens up and inside it's an underground layer, and you get your tiny little toys and you can like move them around this tiny ass rock. Everything was so tiny.
It's like little play sets.
Yeah. But I would imagine lots.
Was it in the 90s when this happened?
Oh, most
of the 90s?
Yeah, like early 90s,
Okay.
or maybe even late 80s. I don't remember, but I just remember them being a thing. Like, I want some Mighty Max, and I never got them because I'm assuming like lots of children were swallowing all of these tiny ass things.
Yeah, the choking hazards back in the day were pretty rampant.
But to be clear, I don't remember if they were canceled or not. I just remember them disappearing. So I can't say that they were safety recalled or canceled or anything like that. But they keep selling Polly Pocket. So I'm just wondering if it was just idiot ass boys putting all these toys in their mouth. And the girls were like, I don't need to put this in my mouth.
Yeah, well, we could open up a whole new innuendo discussion about that.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
Ladies, raising them right. Well, the one I remember mostly, I don't remember. This is like a late '80s thing, and that the water guns. Obviously with the development of the Super Soaker, which kind of took the whole world by storm when that was developed, like in early '90s, late '80s. But before that, there was a gun that, and this isn't on the list, it's just something that I remember, called Entertech. And I don't know if you remember these, but they were motorized water pistols, and they didn't shoot super far.
Yeah. I do remember.
But they looked like real guns. Like there was a Tech 9 pistol and an Uzi 9mm, which my backyard neighbor, the person that lived behind us, and he had one, and it would make a sound like, and it was a toy, but they were black, like real guns, and I think they were discontinued because kids were waving them around, and then the cops were like, oh boy, that's a kid with a Uzi, and obviously
right, because it was the 80s, man. You could buy Uzis in vending machines.
I want to say there was an incident where a kid was mistakenly thought to have a gun, and the cop reacted with excessive force. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but they were very they were then discontinued. But they were super cool when you were a kid. Like, this looks like a real gun, because every kid wants to play, shoot them up in the backyard with whatever water pistols.
Yeah, it's always a little bit like anti like badass when you're running around in the backyard with your water gun playing with your friends, and your water gun is like
neon
clear
yellow.
green.
Yeah.
Yeah, or whatever. And you're like, this ain't real. They can, and it's got like a neon orange
Hmm.
like trigger and all that stuff.
And I think that might have been one of the impetuses for fake guns having that orange front too. That again, I'm making a speculation, but I think that was one of the reasons why the regulations move. So any toy gun you have, no matter the color, has to have that like bright orange tip to it. Even like the airsoft guns today, I think still have it.
Yeah.
Um, so it was all a safety measure. This is before America became like way more gun obsessed. It was, I mean, we've
Yeah.
always been kind of gun obsessed, but this was like, oh yeah, now there's guns all over the place, way more. But look up Entertech. You can see the original ads for it on like the Wayback Machine, I think. And there's like the retro, all the retro sites that have the old commercials. They were super cool when you were a kid. I understand why they don't exist today. But that's not. Speaking of something to do with water, I'm sending you a picture of this. Have you heard of aqua dots before? This is the first on the list. I just sent you a picture of what they look like. For those of you that don't know, aqua dots were listed as a craft toy in the 90s. Actually, I'm sorry, later, the early 2000s. They're also known as bindees, Bindeez, beados or pixos or aqua beads. Basically, they come in a package. They're little plastic looking colored balls, and they like small colored beads, basically. Like it's almost like the stuff you put in the bottom of a vase to hold like a flower in at a craft store. They kind of look like that, or jelly bean looking size things.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of like one of the trendy. I don't even know if it's a trend much anymore, but it was in the last couple of years at Comic-Cons and stuff. Is you'd see people making like heat pressed, little like pixel art almost.
Yep.
It's like colored dots that they just put on a grid or whatever and make, oh, look, it's Mario or it's, Yoshi or Zelda or whatever, right?
Yeah, they're kind of exactly like that. That's what they're meant to do. So they're made by the company Spin Master, who made a lot of toys, and I think they're still in business.
Oh man, I loved that first record of theirs.
Spin Master's great.
Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Yeah, that's when they grew up and went to medical school and became the Spin Doctors. But yeah, that's
Spin Doctors. There we go. Just from masters to doctors.
I dare you to name another song from that album. I actually had that album.
Two Princes.
There you go. You got it.
Jimmy Olsen Blues.
Anyway, so they were, we can go into that on a different episode. So basically exactly what you're saying, they consist of small colored beads, which can be arranged to make designs. And when water is sprayed on them, these beads adhere to each other. So instead of having to use heat to melt them, they use water, and they have like an adhesive material that would glue them together. So kids can make these and they come with like guides where you can make like a unicorn or the flower or whatever. Or you can make your own thing.
So totally like a modern like cross stitch kind of thing, or something.
I was thinking like Light Bright was like that way. You didn't need an easel with a light board in the back. I mean, but yeah, cross stitch definitely. So instead of needing an easel with a lamp, you could just arrange these dots. Sounds pretty harmless, right? This product was made for children 4 and up, and kids like brightly colored things that look like candy. So
what could go wrong?
So kids also like sticking things that look like candy into their mouths, which typically presents a choking hazard. And in most cases, obviously, while serious, it's not the end of the world typically for something that's small. You can go to the doctor, get it out. Unfortunately, Aquadot said, "Hold my beer." And
perfect. Well, especially since you said that they clump together when wet. So stick a couple of those in your mouth and suddenly they're just glued together.
Yeah. Well, this is from the wiki about the toy. The toy was originally supposed to contain a non-toxic plasticizer, which was the binding agent to put these things together, but instead contain a toxic one called butanidol, which is metabolized into the sedative hypnotic drug gamma hydrobutyric acid, or GHB. So at the time of so basically, if you put these in your mouth, and
you're gonna get super high.
It absorbs into your bloodstream. Your kid's now on basically suffering the effects of a GHB overdose, depending on how much they eat. So the time of substitution was discovered. The non-toxic ingredient was 3 to 7 times more expensive than the toxic one. So the affected children, before they discovered this, had a seizure-like activity, which is basically the same side effect as a GHB overdose. GHB occurs naturally in the central nervous system in very small amounts, and I'm quoting here. The use of GHB produces CNS, or central nervous system, depressant effects, including euphoria, drowsiness, increased anxiety, confusion, and memory impairment, also can produce both visual hallucinations and paradoxically excited and aggressive behavior. So,
So not only are you
yeah.
making like your little unicorn picture or like, happy little mushrooms or whatever out of these beads, but
That
then when
unicorn's
you're
coming to
done,
life,
you can
baby.
just lick it like a toad and get super wasted.
I think those are the precursors to the Hypnotoad toy that they never made. So, uh, shout out to Futurama. So incidents, and I have these kind of in categories. So basically, what the product is, incidents, and then the subsequent results of what happened after the incidents occurred.
I
So at the
can't
time
wait.
of recall, yeah, at the time of recall, there are multiple reports of children and a dog in the United States, Australia, and other regions requiring intensive medical attention. So, and again, I'm not laughing at the fact that it caused this. I'm laughing at the fact that this toy wasn't tested and they decided it was cool to go out like this. Several toddlers fell into non-responsive comas, which is pretty fucked up, and required extended hospitalization before making full recoveries. CPSC has received 2 reports over the past, this is a quote back in 2007, have received 2 reports over the past several days of children swallowing aqua dots. A 20-month-old swallowed several dozen beads. He became dizzy and vomited several times before slipping into a comatose state for a period of time. They don't specify how long it was. He was hospitalized.
13
and
years.
Yes, his kid's still there. He's going to Jumanji himself. Was hospitalized and since fully recovered. A second child also vomited and slipped into a comatose state and was hospitalized for 5 days. So these kids were getting super high on their own supply. Yeah, not great, obviously. Not what you want in a toy. So this was recalled November 7th, 2007. In North America, the beads previously marketed as Aquadots were remarketed as Pixos and marketed as safety tested, in quotes, in the television commercial.
Jeez, like let's just put we did the bare minimum on the packaging.
The thing we were supposed to do the first time in a television commercial as the commercial began hitting airways in early July. However, the background music is exactly the same. So when you're watching this ad, it was the same ad for the Aquadots background, but
just
anyway.
Pixos. This reminds me completely of that bit that Dan Aykroyd did on SNL back in the 70s or early 80s, where he was this I don't even remember what his name was, a character he played, but it was like a guy whose whole thing was I'm making toys for kids, and look, it's like Johnny's bag of glass, and it's literally just like a little Ziploc bag full of broken glass. And or like
that's
little something tattoo needles and guns, and it's like a real tattoo machine.
I'm so glad you mentioned this because it just gets worse from here, guys.
Oh God.
So this the toy was recalled and then completely rebranded in June 2009 as Chixos, which is Chixos, featuring dolls, and began marketing towards just girls for some reason. So I guess I haven't looked into Chixos. I don't know exactly what that pertains to as far as the end result, but yeah. So they just like we really are holding on to this Aquadots thing. We don't want people to completely give up on us.
They spent so much money on making those things that they had literally. There's probably like
That's probably what
up here in Chicago, because we get snow. We have these giant things that are kind of off the side of the road that are salt storage and like utility stuff for like our salt spreaders and stuff in the winter.
Yeah.
And I just imagine there's one of those and it's just like, it's like a grain silo full of nothing but these aqua beads or aqua dots or Chixos or whatever they're going by.
Maybe there's some enterprising individual or chemist. Maybe our guy Hank from our previous episode can go in and see a secondary application to these things, because that could be useful.
We need to hire this Hank to do our research for us.
I think so. Toy's been recalled, rebranded, but although concern has been raised in the press that people may intentionally eat the beads in order to get high, potentially spawning a black market in the recalled toy. So I haven't looked extensively, but I'm sure somewhere they're selling some on eBay for an exorbitant amount of money. And you can also test out the GHB dots yourself. So enjoy, kids.
Man, that is just incredible. So I'm doing a quick... I'm doing a little web search here while we're talking, and I'm seeing, you can still buy Pixos on eBay. They've got a Pixos set on here currently going for, it was $13. It's currently rocking at $10.39.
Are these the original with the
Uh,
like the bad ones, or are these the good ones?
that
Because they were rebranded as a couple
well, this
times.
is Pixos. So this is
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was another name for Aquadots was Pixos. Pix, a big O, and then
yep.
S
That's
was
what
one.
there's, and then I'm
So
seeing the Chixos, which look like yeah,
yeah, that's the
they're
rebrand.
they don't look as good, but the Pixos, oh, there's even one that's got like a little dot spreading pen. You just load it full of it and you padoot, pop them in.
Yeah, some of the toys came with a the kits would include a drying fan, an applicator pen, design templates, and a little spray bottle, I guess, for water, so you could activate them. So yeah, so that's fun. Get your kids completely fucked up on some Aquadots, guys. Anyway, talking about speaking of putting things in your mouth.
Oh boy,
you remember Cabbage Patch Kids,
I
right?
sure do. I had
They
one.
started.
My mom bought me one. His name was Webster Ainsley. I remember that to this day.
Wow.
Yeah.
You adopted him as Webster Ainsley. Sounds like he is a some sort of like back in the day, like East India Trading Company magnate of some kind.
My name is Webster Ainsley, and I am a shipping baron.
I sell grain and tea to other countries. So yeah,
ambergris.
if for those of you who are younger listeners, Cabbage Patch Kids, and they're still around today, which I did not know. They were super popular in the early 80s. So 1982, they were adoptable dolls. So they were cloth dolls with plastic heads. And they were the Tickle Me Elmo of the time. They were the PlayStation 5 of the time. Like parents went nuts for these things. They were originally produced by Coleco. Yes, the same company that made the ColecoVision video game. I did not know that. Yeah. The company changed hands a lot, but Coleco was the first owner of the Xavier Roberts Cabbage Patch Kids
collection.
Yep. They set all kinds of records, and between 1983 and 1986, riots occurred at stores when parents literally fought each other to obtain the dolls for their kids. So this was crazy popular, guys.
I remember those stories and seeing news reports when I was younger, because my parents would talk about it. And I remember seeing like a news thing, and it was ridiculous. It's like nowadays it's like Black Friday at Walmart kind of bullshit.
Mommy, why are you going to the store with your brass knuckles on? Mommy's going to get you a Christmas present, kid. So okay.
Oh god.
Yeah. So so they were huge toys. The company changed ownership after Coleco went bankrupt in 1988. Hasbro owned it for a while. And in 1994, Mattel acquired the licensing rights to the dolls. So Mattel, still around today, very popular toy company. Then this is when a new line of dolls was introduced. Because, it's starting to get, they want to continue to, obviously, as any good corporate, they're trying to make bigger and better and new features so people buy more.
Evolve. So they're, evolve,
right.
So you, of course, then want another product. If you've got a Cabbage Patch Kid and they're, unbreakable, you can't destroy these damn things. Why would you need another one, right?
Yep.
So you need another product to buy.
You fill one with nitroglycerin and see how it goes.
Exactly.
No, I sent you a picture of the ones I'm talking about. So they developed in 1996 a new line called the Snack Time Cabbage Patch Doll. So basically, these were set in 1996 for the Christmas market, and they became very popular. Which made them popular.
These are terrifying.
Yeah, they're all kind of unsettling.
This is like, oh my god! Like their faces are so eager.
I'll post images of all this stuff on our notes as well, or links to them, so you can see them as well.
I think the scariest part of this is that the kid is it's like standing in what looks like a tiled floor bathroom.
Yeah, it's very like David Lynchy kind of.
Yeah, on the box, on the inside of the box are like, printed on like, oh, look, it's an end table and a tiny stool. And then stuck like, to the wall are like plastic bananas, some kind of like wafer thing. But then it's their arms are spread like Jesus. They're off to the side. So they look like they're in a T pose here, but then their faces are just shove that yummy food right in my
plastic
mouth.
Deliciousness into my face.
Oh yeah, give it to me, right? It says feed me.
Yeah, no, and that's basically what these dolls were intended to do. They had the feature ability to quote unquote eat plastic toy snacks. So basically there was a mechanism in the doll that activated smooth metal rollers behind the plastic lips. So like a conveyor belt, kids could kind of feed their dolls and they look like they were eating whatever they were eating. The toy food would then pass through the internal mechanism and end up in a backpack that was strapped to the back of the doll, so you could take it out and do it again. So this was
Thank
like
God they had thought of that.
yeah, exactly. It was like, well, I guess I got to buy more plastic bananas or whatever. Kids were enjoying the dolls until they stopped enjoying the dolls. So this is a quote. This is a quote from a CNN article from December 30th. So right after Christmas of 1996. Jose Gomez said his sister got tangled up in her snack time kid. Quote, I thought she was playing, but she was screaming, running all over the place, she said. So my father grabbed her and he tried to pull the doll, and the doll had her hair caught and kept pulling and pulling. So
What?
the commission said parents should warn their children that long hair could get caught and pulled by the motorized doll's mouths, and parents should show children how to quickly turn the doll off, which, in order to do that, you had to pull off its backpack where the batteries are contained. Apparently, the motorized rollers that simulated the chewing motion were unidirectional and lacked an automatic stop or emergency release button.
Oops.
So this thing would just constantly feed whatever you gave it, no matter what it was, into its stupid doll maw.
I can
So when
only see
fingers
bad
are-
things continuing to happen here.
Holy shit, dude. So when fingers or hair got near the mouth, the doll would not stop pulling them inward, sometimes taking hair all the way to the scalp and requiring parents to cut the toy apart or call emergency services. Jesus Christ. So
Come here, kid.
Yeah.
It's Susie. In order for you to play with this Cabbage Patch Kid, we need to shave your head. So we are making sure that none of your hair gets caught in its mechanized mouth.
oh my God. In 1997, over 35 incidents were reported of kids getting chomped by these evil dolls, and subsequent removal from the store shelves was then enacted. So these were recalled January 6th, a very auspicious date, 1997.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So these dolls basically just kept eating and eating, and no matter what it was, whatever got in their range of chomping, sort of, if long it was small enough to get in there, it yeah. it was not great. So these were you think Cabbage Patch Kids? Oh, they're
Jeez.
fine. They're whatever. Yeah, no, it's not good. Oh my God. Yeah, I never had one of these. My friends had some, and I always thought, like, it was kind of nice, I guess, back in the day, because you think growing up in the 80s, when you mention dolls, they're very like, oh, it's for girls. But this was Cabbage Patch Kids were this sort of like unisex, anyone could have one. And I remember like
Right.
with the kid sister and my buddy sort of spawned from that. And these were
I was just about to
dolls.
say, yeah. And then you had like Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Who was like a teddy bear that you could put cassette tapes in like his back.
Yep.
And play them, and you could have like conversations.
Mm-hmm. It would read
on
a
a
story,
theme,
I think.
like
It was
whatever.
supposed to read a story,
Yeah.
and then it would interact with you.
Yeah, based on like, very limited parameters, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, things like that. And I remember those all over the 80s. Those were the kinds of things, like they were finally getting technology to a point where you could interact with it, like fake robots and things like that.
So this was a real swing and a miss for the Cabbage Patch Corporations.
Yeah, this sounds like something like you're sitting in your room at night trying to sleep, and your little Cabbage Patch is sitting in the corner, and its mouth, you hear just the mechanized whirring of a unidirectional treadmill in a Cabbage Patch doll's mouth.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Uh,
terrifying.
Speaking of another swing and a miss, this is sort of a different genre of toy. Have you heard of anything called a kite tube before?
I sure have not.
Okay, it's exactly as it sounds. There was a product called the WeGo, and I sent you a video on Messenger. You can kind of watch this thing in operation. WeGo, that's WEGO kite tubes, and they existed from October 2005 to July 2006. They were manufactured by a company called Sports Stuff Inc. Sports Stuff, all one word. Basically, a WeGo kite tube is exactly as it sounds. Imagine a circular inflatable tube, like the kind you would float on a river or a lake in. Imagine a boat pulling the tube so the rider can skim across the body of water. Everybody does that, super fun. Now imagine doing this, but in the fucking sky. So this tube...
Holy crap. I'm watching this, and it's like,
Yeah.
what it looks
Yeah.
like is it looks like a, like an inner tube,
Mhm.
like Frisbee that just is going so fast. It's literally floating in the air.
So what you do is it's a round tube, you sit on it, on top of it, and there's handles near the back, or there are handles like in the middle of it, I guess. So you pull on these handles as the boat reaches speed, and the airflow gets underneath it, and you're supposed to achieve lift. So you can get airborne, which is now this tube is a giant kite once you're positioned on top of this thing, which honestly, I'm not going to lie, as an adult sounds kind of fun, but not when.
I can't see, like, looking at the video of the people doing that, my reaction was like, oh damn. These are like every one of those massive fail videos that you're just waiting to see the fail happen.
I don't know if you've heard about the infamous Lake Lanier in Georgia. I live about maybe 40 minutes from it. And if you just look up the amount of deaths that occur on this cursed lake, I can imagine some drunken yahoos on a weekend doing this and just like never being seen again because this thing is super unsafe. So,
well,
yes,
I mean, it's apparently not a big loss for humanity. So, you know,
dude, there's a whole, we could do a whole episode on Lake Lanier, and there has been episodes done, not of our show, but other shows. It's pretty messed up. So these tubes were, it's very spooky. These tubes were imported and sold through marine distributors, mail order catalogs, and various realtors from approximately October 2005 to July 2006 for about $500 to $600. So not a cheap tube. This is a quote from the website that I read about this from. The floor of the tube has black caution warning stripes. The cover for the product bears a skull and crossbones and the statement, quote, "Never kite higher than you are willing to fall," which is pretty excellent.
What?
Never kite higher, Caleb, than you are willing to fall, which sounds like something you get in a fortune
cookie. I was just about to say.
So I will include the link to this YouTube video. It's just a short video of how it operates. Like, this is probably their promotional video that they would sell to the distributors and be like, this is what it is. So anyway, the CPSC staff is aware of, this is the incidents and injuries part, of our 39 injury incidents, 29 of those resulting in medical treatment. Those injuries include a broken neck, punctured lung, chest and back and facial injuries. Not industries, injuries. Yeah. Sports Stuff has received several reports of 2 deaths in the United States and various serious injuries from a fucking flying kite tube. Of course. What are you doing?
The video shows all of these people maybe 5-6 feet off the lake.
Yeah, but you know that they let a ton of rope out, and this was how you're safely operating it. 5, 6, maybe 10 feet behind the boat,
right.
You know, enough. This guy is not kiting higher than he is willing to fall. You know, some guy is like, man, let's see how high I can get this thing.
100-foot of rope, bitch. And, you know, he's
after a several beers on a lake during the day. Come on. People are kill themselves on these things. So these were recalled on July 13th, 2006. And as of 2006, the firm Sports Stuff Inc. is no longer in operation.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
Good God. I mean, I think I kind of want to try it, but this is like homemade parasailing. This is all this is. This is like unsupervised parasailing.
Yeah. You know? Like looking at, I was just kind of like, oh God, I wouldn't want to fall off of that at 4, 5, 6 feet. Because if you're going high enough to achieve that kind of lift, you're going pretty fast. You hit that water, dude, it's gonna shear skin off. Let alone, you know, that drunk frat boy who's just like, you know, 85 feet in the air, like bitchin', and then he fucking falls.
And you know exactly that's what happened. That's like, dude, check this out, and then, you know, ambulance sirens are being heard. So yeah, so this was in 2006, like I said, but. Caleb, I don't know if you know this, but dangerous toys have been around for a while. In fact, very famously, you know, in the 50s, when the U.S. was very interested in atomic energy, all the toys were kind of geared towards that.
This one's made with depleted uranium.
You know what? It's funny you said that because it looks like you bet it. So if you want to go ahead and Google this, it's the this has also been labeled the credited as being the most dangerous toy ever created.
I love this.
So look up the Gilbert Atomic Energy Lab. It's from the 1950s from the A.C. Gilbert Company. It is a product of post-World War II America. This educational kit was a legitimate radioactive toy designed to teach children about nuclear physics. Created by the A.C. Gilbert Company and an American toy company in 1950, this U-238 Atomic Energy Laboratory was a kit toy that encouraged scientifically minded kids to conduct fun experiments using chemicals and equipment provided within. Fun, right?
And to die.
The set originally sold for $49.50, which in today's is like $600. It's crazy, and contained the following. And again, I'm not a scientist, so people can. You know, I sort of did a brief description of what these are. A cloud chamber, which allowed the user to watch alpha particles. A spinthariscope, spinthariscope, which is a device for observing nuclear disintegrations caused by chemical interactions. safe.
Again, things that you would definitely want your like 8-year-old just casually playing with.
An electroscope which measures radioactivity of the set substances, battery-powered Geiger counter, for fuck's sake, 4 glass jars containing natural uranium-bearing U-238 ore samples. I'm going to butcher these names. Autunite, it's Autunite, torbernite, Torbernite, uraninite, and carnotite from the Colorado Plateau region, whatever that means. And then there's also some low radiation sources, for the safety conscious. A beta alpha PB210, pure beta possibly RU106, and gamma ZN65. I am not a chemistry person, so anyone wants to chime in on what exactly these are and what they mean, please add us.
And kid, there's a small little baggie of cocaine.
It also included in the Gilbert Atomic Energy Manual, which is a 60-page instruction booklet written by Dr. Ralph E. Lapp, and 3C batteries. So fun. Anyway.
I'm surprised you can't just plug the rocks into it and let it power it off of them.
Dude. So because of the uranium inside emitted primarily alpha particles, the dead outer layer of skin is usually enough to block the radiation, making it relatively safe to handle from the outside. However, the kit could have caused serious health complication if it was misused. And kids aren't reading that damn manual. Come on. The risks included were ingestion and inhalation risks. If user removed the ores from their containers and swallowed or inhaled them, because kids don't ever do that, the radioactive dust could become lodged in the body. Over time, this drastically increases the risk of lung cancer, bone cancer, kidney damage, and leukemia. So fun toy to give to your kids for Christmas. There's also bloodstream exposure. Handling the ores with minor cuts and abrasions on the hands could have introduced uranium into the bloodstream where it spreads to vital organs. Good God.
I think the general rule of thumb is let's not expose children to uranium if at all possible.
Unless they were trying to develop some kind of weird super soldier program like Bucky was in the Avengers, maybe, I don't know. But this seems very, very wild that this was marketed to kids.
Everybody's trying to become low grade soldier boy. Like in case soups take over, we got to have somebody who can nuclear blast their powers away.
Dear God. So the safety and hazard of it was because the ore samples were in sealed jars, the radiation exposure was generally minimal, about equivalent to a day's sun exposure, which is not great. However, the samples could flake, crumble, and produce fine powders. So inhaling radon gas from the containers or breathing in uranium dust posed legitimate health risks. This kit has achieved mythic status in pop culture, infamously landing on Radar Magazine's Most Dangerous Toy of All Time list. This was discontinued in 1951. It was never officially recalled, though, by a government safety agency because it was the 50s. I mean, it didn't exist. It was rather due to poor sales, high costs, and wartime mineral restrictions. The A.C. Gilbert Company quietly discontinued it in 51 after only producing 5,000 units. So basically giving 5,000 kids possible ailments. So like I said, in 2006, the Radar Magazine called the lab set one of the 10 most dangerous toys of all time, excluding BB guns, slingshots, throwing stars, and anything else actually intended to inflict harm. Because the radioactive material included, it was number 2 on the list. But you know what number 1 on the list was, Caleb? Which is a toy I know you've heard of.
Good Lord.
This doesn't have anything to do with chemicals. This has nothing to do with chemicals. This is just pure danger.
Pure God. The only thing I can think of is Happy Fun Ball.
I think this is what Happy Fun Ball was sort of modeled after. Have you heard of lawn darts or jarts?
I have heard of lawn darts.
Yes.
I 100% have heard of lawn darts.
Okay, so lawn darts is the number 1 on this list of most dangerous toys.
That makes sense.
The set from the 70s through the 80s. This is the OG when it comes to the most notorious recalled children's toy. These were foot-long, weighted darts with metal points thrown near your friends. What's not to like? So imagine just giant fucking darts that you'd lob at unsuspecting children. This original lawn dart was made of solid metal with spiked tips. They weighed up to a half a pound each. When thrown into the air, they were designed to plunge into the ground with a high force. There was a game that you subscribed to or you played with these darts. So 2 rings were set up 25 to 30 feet apart, usually on grass or dirt or some kind of soft surface like sand. A player from each team would stand at each ring, and then the players would take turns throwing darts to try to get it as close to or in the ring. Scoring would based on how close you get your darts, like horseshoes or cornhole. 1 point
Right.
was the closest to the ring, 3 points for inside the ring, and you go back and forth until the first player reaches 21 points. So, pretty simple game. Yeah. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, there were thousands of dart related injuries, including 3 deaths from skull punctures by the late
Yeah, who could have saw that?
by the late 80s. So, quote, metal tipped darts, often called jarts, were officially banned from sale in the United States on December 19th, 1988. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, or the CPSC, instituted the ban after a game was linked to over 6,000 emergency room visits, numerous severe injuries, and the deaths of at least 3 children. You want your toy to have a death count. You really do. I think that's, you're missing the whole thing if you don't.
I just want to know, like, because you know that this happened, right? Not what you just described. Yes, that happened. But I'm saying you know that what I'm about to say also happened is there's some group of dudes sitting around like, what a bunch of pansies, man. You can't throw metal darts at your friends anymore. They've got to, like, they got to take that away. Fucking woke people, like,
Of course.
somebody just complaining. I didn't have safety helmets riding bikes when I was a kid.
Yeah, back in the old days,
we
we would take our skull punctures and just go back to school the next day. It was fine.
I used to literally break my friends' skulls open to release the demons inside, so that way they could live normal lives.
This is a quote from the American Journal of Diseases of Children from September 1990. Again, 1990. Lawn dart injuries account for an estimated 675 emergency department visits per year. 76 patients are described herein. The victims range from 1 to 18 years of age and were predominantly male, of course. The most common sites of injury were the head at 54%, the eye at 17%, and the face at 11%. Hospitalization was required for 54% of these patients. So 41 out of 76 of these patients needed hospitalization.
Wow.
This included unilateral blindness and brain damage. The fatality rate was 4%, which is 4% too high. Jesus Christ, for a toy.
But it's just like, honestly, what did they think would happen when you just give weighted foot-long metal darts to kids and go, here, hurl them near your friends?
Here, have fun, colorful spears that you can throw at people. Despite the recent ban on the sale of lawn darts, this is again from 1990, there remain an estimated 10 to 15 million sets of lawn darts in the homes of Americans. Pediatricians should encourage parents to discard all lawn darts. So I have cited this article if you want to look at it. These were banned.
Well, when the pediatrics, organization is basically saying, yeah, we don't want these around, that's a problem.
These were officially banned December 19th, 1988 in the US, and in 1989 they were banned in Canada. Following the 1988 ban, the CPSC required that all remaining lawn darts be destroyed, making it illegal to sell or give
Good
them
Lord.
away.
We haven't even done that with nuclear weapons.
No, they cracked down on these fucking darts, man. The regulatory stance, the CPSC classified the metal tip darts as banned hazardous substances. Even for decades after the ban, and border agencies intercepted illegal, unapproved metal tip sets shipped from overseas manufacturers. This is like the drug trade, but only for lawn darts. After thousands of injuries and at least 3 children's deaths were attributed to lawn darts, the sharp-pointed darts were banned for sale, like I said, in the US and Canada. They are still used in the European Union, however. The tips are rounded instead of being sharp, and they are often magnetic, so the darts can stick to a magnet. So, still around, but not going to be as harmful, I guess? I don't know. It's crazy.
No, you just get clocked in the head with a big fucking magnet.
I sent you a picture of the OG lawn darts, and they look pretty terrifying. I mean, if you imagine them being a foot long, they look not great. So they're just metal weapons.
Yeah, I mean, you know there was somebody out there who was pissing off their abusive father, and the dad went outside and he just saw those laying there, and he's like, fucking kid, and picks him up and just starts hurling them at the kid, and the kid
builds character.
Right, is absolutely terrified. It's like, run, little piggy, squeal, squeal, throwing lawn darts at it.
So there are tons of lists you can look at about all these banned things, and I have a couple honorable mentions, if you'll bear with me, that I thought I couldn't leave off this list because these are pretty unhinged as well. So I do have a callback to the nuclear. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gilbert, thing. Apparently, I was just looking up some of these things, and like, auction houses like Sotheby's will occasionally list an actual complete full set, which has historically fetched anywhere from like 13 to $16,500 for
Whoa,
one of these
really?
sets. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
And
sure the
that
uranium is still
typically,
fine, right? It's been not
yeah,
degraded at
right.
all.
It's,
It
I
lasts for
mean,
a while.
what is it, $5,000,
something like
5,000 year half
something
life,
like that.
right?
Oh man.
But like you can get them. It looks like anywhere typical collectors can pay anywhere from 3 to that 16.5 was the highest it's ever gone. So 3K
Jesus.
somewhere to 16.5 thousand.
Man, well, I'm kind of not surprised. It sort of follows the whole thing. It's like, ooh, it's taboo, it's not allowed, it's illegal. I'd be like,
Right.
yeah, you can imagine
Right.
some
Right.
collectors like, guess how much I paid for this box of cancer? Cool.
Right. Exactly.
So these are insane honorable mentions, and these are mostly products of their time. And I thought I would include this one, which I thought was pretty bonkers. This is from the Ideal Corp. The Ideal Toy Corporation, which was a company in the 60s. So from 1969, Power Mite Tools, and I'll send you a picture of one of them. Basically, these were real working tools that worked on a battery that were scaled down for kids. So pretty sure the concept of workers' comp from job site injuries came inside every kid as well. They were made from die-cast metal and D-cell battery operated. So the batteries were in the case. You plug the toy into the case, which was fed by the battery, and you could run these little tools. Power Mite sold tools like a kid-size hand drill, a kid-size router, a kid-size saber saw, and a circular saw, and yes, even a goddamn table saw for kid size.
I'm just looking at this going like, there isn't a chance in hell I would give even my like 13-year-old son one of these things. Because you know what I'm going to find? A bunch of cut up bullshit and several injuries.
Yeah. So they weren't. They weren't as powerful as their full size counterparts. So, but they could still cut through balsa wood and styrofoam. So balsa wood is pretty thicker than skin, obviously.
Hey, don't worry, it won't cut through your actual bone, just your flesh.
I'm pretty sure the sales of bandages also spiked along with these kits. So there's a website that I'll include, but they sold they're just like basically take your favorite drill or your saw and scale it down and then make it a little bit weaker. But I saw one on eBay or one on a site and it said, I'm pretty sure they cleaned off all the blood stains from the circular saw blades before they put it on the site because kids are going to be sawing through fingers with this dumb thing. So I thought that was pretty, and this was 1969. I don't think it was discontinued. I just think it fell out of favor because parents started being like, this isn't the best. So I got two left and they're both from your favorite company, the AC Gilbert Company, because of course they are.
Oh, yeah.
The AC Gilbert Company in the 1920s, so regulation's going to be off the chain then, released a glass blowing kit for kids. And you can type in the AC Gilbert glass blowing kit. Yeah. Hey kids, what's the hottest toy this year? Why, it's molten glass. So
yeah, exactly. What's the hottest toy? Yeah, exactly.
So in the 1920s, the AC Gilbert Company, pretty sure the AC stood for anti-children, decided to release a kit that allowed kids to learn glass blowing in the safety of their home. Now, I don't know if you know anything about glass blowing. In order to shape glass, it must be softened by extreme heat. And this heat usually needs to be around 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So this kit encouraged kids to try this at home by holding a thin glass tube to a flame from an included alcohol lamp, which was basically a small blowtorch. So kids could heat the thin laboratory glass until it was soft enough to shape into hot enough to cause third-degree burns or set your house on fire. Fun.
Yeah. There's a reason kids, I remember as a kid playing with matches and getting my little ass beat by my mom after she caught me with them because I had set the back of one of our chairs on fire. And so how did she know? Because in the corner behind there, smoke is coming off the chair and she pulls me back. And, who knows what percentage of plastic this couch was because it was, in the early 80s. So, but yeah, I remember
it was very
that.
flammable. They made it with, I think flammable was one of the ingredients on the materials used.
Right. Just this will go up in direct sunlight, so yeah, it was, I got in such the well-deserved spanking for that. So I remember to this day, like my parents would not allow any kind of fire-related objects anywhere in the house.
I mean, this
So
was the 20s, so obviously it was kind of bonkers then. But if you look, I don't know if you saw there's a really great picture, and I can send it to you in a second, of the kit itself, and it's got the lid propped up so you can see the front. It's got the thing. So basically, the gig was you'd heat up these glass tubes. It doesn't come with safety gloves or anything, from what I can tell.
why would it?
So you heat up these things and then you blow into it like a glass blower, and you make like a little bulb that comes out of these ends of these laboratory glass things. So when I first looked at this picture, there's a kid at the table doing the glass blowing, and there's a person standing over him, which I thought was his dad. No, it's another 8-year-old. So he's being supervised by someone who's equally unqualified to glass blow. And it came with a manual because of course it did, but no kid's reading the fucking manual. Anyway, another
Here, kid, make your own weed pipe.
This is the last entry from the AC Gilbert Toy Vendetta Against Children Torture Company. This is called the Gilbert Caster with a K Kit Jr., and this is from 1931 to 1942. So basically, it gives the kids to ability to create small toy soldiers with molten lead. So another molten toy to have in your house.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the user would put metal slugs into a little melting pot, and once they were molten, scoop up the molten metal and pour them into a mold. So they had soldiers, battleships, airplanes, cannons, horses.
Yeah.
Stuff. By the way, the melting point of lead is 621.5 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's hot,
fair.
real hot. So if molten metal burning your skin and surroundings wasn't enticing enough, potential lead poisoning was a real seller. This company made the most unhinged fucking toys for children that I could possibly imagine.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a reason we stopped eating out of tin cans too, right? You know what I mean? Like they just weren't, they didn't know, or nobody gave a wet fart what happened.
And again, the cover of it's a red kit. It comes with all the stuff you need. And on the cover, it's just a little kid in a tie who looks like he's about 6, just heating up lead on his dining room table. So there you go.
And it tastes great, just as is,
Oh my God. I was crying while reading this. This AC Gilbert company, if they existed today, there would be so many lawsuits. It would be insane. Like they would be sued into oblivion. It would be, well, maybe not during the current administration, but during the more reasonable administrations we've had, maybe.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I'll include all the links to everything, so you guys, if you listen to this, can go down and look at all this stuff. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I learned, I knew about the lawn darts thing. I did not know about the sky kite. That was pretty wild. Oh my God.
I already don't like going to lakes to swim.
Oh no, lakes are terrifying.
They creep me out on every level. So like riding a giant like floating disc above the lake is just inviting more danger, to me. So
I can only imagine that before, this was in 1942, so it was around the time of World War II where this caster kit was made. I can only imagine somebody at the AC Gilbert company is like, listen, we need to maximize our war efforts. Why don't we make an ammunition manufacturing a kit for kids as well? They can go ahead and add rounds for our giant machine guns to aid in the war effort.
Exactly. We'll just, you get the lead tip bullets, and you just have the kids. It comes with a postage bag that, postage paid by the receiver or whatever, right? And you just drop in all the bullets. Johnny made 700 bullets for the war effort this week.
He sure did. And this was way more popular than our build-your-own hand grenade set that we had earlier this year.
He even stole his mother's silver, melted it down, and made new bullets for the werewolves.
Yeah, so I was very amused with this whole topic this week.
That's
again,
fantastic.
I'll add all the links, all the pictures, everything. Caleb, I don't know if you have any final thoughts about the toys, but now you know what to get to kids for Christmas. You get on eBay, you get that uranium kit.
Good Lord. I think there's just, my 2 takeaways are quit making pieces. You can't stop making it, so it's not the manufacturer's fault. But why the hell is everything going in people's mouths? That's the first thing. Secondly,
know your audience, man. They're kids. They put everything in their mouths. It's like having a dog when they're little. It's the same thing as a dog. They put everything in their mouth.
So So did you know that Nintendo has kind of stopped this from being an issue before it began?
Are you talking about the
So
Switch?
the Switch game cartridges
Hmm.
apparently are made with something or coated with something so that if a dog or a human puts them in their mouth, they will want to spit them out. Like it's so bad tasting that you just like it's a
Oh
complete
wow.
discouragement from doing it. So yeah, so when dipshit Danny leaves his Nintendo Switch cartridge,
That's
just
Hank's son. How
that
dare you?
tiny ass right, that little tiny ass chip that you just that you would lose without any effort.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
It's
leaves
so
it laying
small.
around so his baby sister can come pick it up. She's going to put it in her mouth and immediately spit that thing right back
For
out.
those of you
So,
unfamiliar with the Switch cartridge, it's about the size of an SD card that you put in like a GoPro or something. It's very, very
yep,
small.
it's tiny. It's criminal that they sell those, and then you open the package, which
Mhm.
looks like it's the size of like 2/3 the size of a Blu-ray or DVD case. You open it up, and it's like down in the corner collecting dust is this tiny ass chip with there's no instruction manual inside these things anymore. It's just usually an advertisement for more
Or a
bullshit
QR
you don't
code or
need.
something.
Right? Yeah.
And
So
it's like, they got the same packaging engineer that Amazon uses. So you order like one postage stamp and they put it in like a 4-foot long box and they send it to your house.
yeah, exactly. Good luck
So-
finding what you have in here.
Oh my God. But yeah, I thought this was very, and we can go down if there's more, again, listeners to this, if you have any honorable mentions or ones that you've experienced, like maybe you owned the Cabbage Patch Snack Time Kid and had your own story about it, please share with us. We would love to feature that on a future episode. 'Cause it's pretty crazy to think about.
I mean, I'm surprised Furbies weren't on that list just from being abjectly terrifying things,
I did see a Furby on a list on one of the worst toys of all times list, but I didn't read it because it didn't have a death count or an injury count. And I know that sounds very
I
morbid
mean-
to say. I wanted to
Well,
sensationalize it as much as I could.
when you're going for toys, I mean, it's like the H.H. Holmes, prostitute dismemberment kit, like
Which was also a kit by the A.C. Gilbert Company, I'm pretty sure.
where do you think he got it?
The Anti-Children Toy Company. Well, we're going to get rid of these kids once and for all. We're just going to start shipping them cigarettes. Just here you go.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, so hey, this was super fun, Caleb. Thank you for indulging me once again on one of my insane rants here, and
No, I thought that was fun.
and I hope that everyone else found it as entertaining as I did. And we want to say thank you again. We say it every episode. Thank you so much. Even if you just told us that you listened and actually didn't, we thank you just for acknowledging that we exist. We really appreciate it. This is super fun for us to do, and no one asked for it, so thanks so much for
not
doing it.
not a person. So I loved it.
We're available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music, so you can find us wherever you get podcasts. We are constantly posting, and by we I mean Caleb because he's way better at social media than I am, on our Instagram. Please reach out. We will respond. Maybe not right away, but we definitely will respond to you. If you see us out in the wild, give us a high five, or I don't know, push us into a bush or something if you don't like what we're doing.
That would require you to actually come to those areas where we are. But yeah, definitely push us into a bush. I can usually be found sitting in a Starbucks somewhere in my native area. So do it.
Yeah,
but you know what? Then better buy my ass a coffee too.
Yeah,
So-
please do. Again, we'll put up some polls and stuff in the future about episode choices, about what you guys want to hear as well, because we really do want to make this a back and forth. We want you guys to give us some input, and if we can go down one of y'all's suggestions, we will definitely do that. That'd be super fun.
Absolutely. 100%.
Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Caleb, for listening.
No,
And-
thanks for talking.
no, hey, once again, I'm Brian,
I'm Caleb,
and remember, Distracto can't solve your problems.
but it can distract you from them.
We'll see you next week. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Hey, you there! Yes, you! Do you feel bored? Restless? Are you filled with an overwhelming sense of impending dread by a society on the brink of collapse? Are you looking for a brief moment of escape from the nightmare hellscape our daily lives have become? Well, have no fear! Distracto is here! What is Distracto, you ask? Why, Distracto is a podcast and so much more. Distracto is your dose of distraction from the drudgery of the daily dumpster fire. If you like pop culture, reviews, comedy, deep dives, interviews, or going down internet rabbit holes that just might get you put on a list, then Distracto is the podcast for you. Join hosts Caleb and Brian each week as they delve into delightful and deranged topics that'll make you briefly forget that the world is on fire. Subscribe to Distracto today, where all fine podcasts are found. Follow us on social media at DistractoPod on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Or contact us directly at distractopod@gmail.com. Remember, Distracto can't solve your problems, but it can distract you from them.